City police officer and another driver were rushed to the hospital after a car crash in Harlem. Chopper 2 was over West 122nd Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard where the two vehicles collided. The NYPD is investigating the crash but says the marked police car was not involved in a pursuit or rushing to an active scene at the time. The officer, though, is in serious condition with a head injury. The female driver of the other vehicle is in stable condition. And a San Antonio family calling attention to what they say is a major injustice at the hands of San Antonio police. December 16, 30-year-old Karen Martinez was shot by an officer in the chest after police say she was trying to break into her ex-boyfriend's house off Loma Park Drive. Now, investigators say she threatened to take her own life with the blade-like object and told officers she had a gun. However, no weapon was found. Martinez survived but is now sitting in jail with the bullet lodged in her spine. Doctors told her family it could cause more damage if they tried to get it out. Now the family is calling for improved police training because they believe Martinez was in the middle of a mental health crisis.
He doesn't remember anything at all. And I know when you go into like a manic episode, you can black out and you don't remember anything that you did or said.
Martinez faces 2 charges of making a terroristic threat against a peace officer. Her bond is set at $200,000. The officer who shot her, Andrew Davis, has 3 years of service with SAPD. He's on administrative duty right now. Now, we asked police if they plan to release the body cam footage. They said no because it does not meet their criteria.
Rochester, where the trial of a former police officer and public school speech coach continues as the jury hears from more witnesses alleging an inappropriate relationship between the defendant, Timothy Morgenstern, and a former student.
That's right. ABC 6 News reporter Chandler Jackson has been following this trial, and he joins us now from the courthouse. And Chandler, who did the jury hear from today, and what did they have to say?
Yeah, Robin, Maisie, 3 more witnesses took the stand today. One being the alleged victim's best friend, another being a former speech teammate, and the third being the head coach of the speech team. The first witness, the friend, testified about her knowledge of the supposed relationship, claiming she helped write messages to Morgenstern, but admitted that she was never shown any flirty messages or explicit photos or videos from him. Then the former teammate described her concerns about the alleged relationship after claiming she noticed the two particularly close together during a club event. Finally, the head speech coach testified that Morgenstern had approached her several months prior to the alleged sexual encounter about feeling uncomfortable with the alleged victim's attempts to reach out to him. A testimony from the speech coach and other witnesses is set to continue tomorrow morning. Live in Rochester, Chandler Jackson, ABC 6 News.
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate it. We've had a lot of bad apples lately. We've got a lot on today's show. And so I know it's this bad apple season or something. It's like the time after the most wonderful time of the year is the least wonderful time of the year. Am I right? Okay. Without further ado, let's get on with the show. Thank you for being here.
In Lake County, a case of distracted driving cost a deputy his job, but a sheriff's office investigation found he wasn't texting before slamming his car into a woman's car.
He was looking at porn. West 2's Justin Schecker got a copy of the internal affairs report and the body camera video from the crash.
The Lake County Sheriff's Office internal affairs investigation found that former Deputy Tristan McComber was looking at something not safe for work before this happened. In early November, while driving south on County Road 435, his body-worn camera captured the steering wheel airbag deploying. After his department-issued cruiser crashed into the back of another car. The video shows Deputy McComber tossing a cell phone onto the seat and then picking it up before he goes to check on the other driver.
Hello, ma'am. Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
My brakes locked up.
Okay.
You good?
I was like, oh my goodness, wait. Yeah, I'm okay.
According to the new internal affairs report, the deputy told a sergeant the brakes locked up before he rear-ended the other car, stopped for a school bus. This deputy no longer works for the Lake County Sheriff's Office. We're told he resigned while facing termination. The internal affairs investigation found he wasn't truthful in what he was doing on his phone right before impact. McComber initially stated he was scrolling through text messages in a group chat with other deputies prior to the crash, but the investigation found he was viewing something that is more visual and inappropriate while on the job. The report's conclusion says McComber admitted to lying before later revealing he was looking at pornographic material on his personal phone just before the vehicle crash. Deputies found he violated 3 sheriff's office policies. He departed from the truth, used an electronic device for something that's prohibited, and there was substantial evidence he wasn't wearing a seatbelt behind the wheel. Covering Lake County, Justin Schecker, WESH 2 News.
Tonight we speak directly to the sheriff about what happened that day from his perspective as State Police released body cam footage from the scene.
How you doing, Sheriff? Good, very good. Good, hi.
But in fact, Hamden County Sheriff Nick Kochi wasn't doing good at all. Calling it not his finest moment, this body cam footage showing the moment State Police first approached him after finding his official vehicle damaged and parked in front of the MGM Springfield Casino. At first saying a friend of his was driving the SUV, which later proved to be false. The sheriff is then told by the trooper that he's being recorded and everything about the situation is being, quote, taken by the numbers.
Sir, none of us wants to be involved in this, all right? But I can smell alcohol coming from your breath.
The encounter would eventually lead to the sheriff's arrest on a driving while intoxicated charge. Do you think that the state police officers or troopers acted accordingly? Did they do their jobs?
Absolutely. I think during this whole process, you have never heard me once utter a word about any agency for doing their job. That's what they're there to do. I believe ultimately, the only person to blame for that incident on that night is Nick Kochi, and that's why I've taken full responsibility for it.
It's a refrain the sheriff has repeated multiple times since he was taken into custody back on September 21st. That day, before pulling into the casino with a tire missing and on a damaged rim, Kochi admits he'd been golfing at Springfield Country Club and had a couple of beers.
You've got clear indications of alcohol consumption.
100%.
All right. I can tell that you've admitted to alcohol consumption. You've got your speech is a little bit slurred. All right. I can smell it coming off your breath. I can see the redness in your eyes. I'm going to ask you a second time if you will perform field sobriety so I can determine if you are safe to drive.
What was going through your mind while this was happening?
Well, I think the same things that would go through anybody's mind. We made a mistake here.
A mistake that would lead to his arrest and eventually in court, the suspension of his license and agreement to attend a driver's education course. He also paid nearly $2,500 to repair damage to the state vehicle he was driving. Still, though, the sheriff says he's under no illusions that he failed himself and those he serves on that day back in late September. And he's not looking for or expecting special treatment, saying he shouldn't be and wasn't treated differently than anybody else.
You don't blame others. You don't point fingers. You put your hand up and take responsibility. And you be the person that you hope, after 32 years as a correctional professional and 8 years as a sheriff of this great county, that people know me to be.
The case against Sheriff Nick Kochi will be dismissed if he completes probation and stays out of trouble for a year.
It's just so traumatizing.
This woman, the latest in the investigation our Jeremy Finley has been doing here with WSMV4 Investigates. She was arrested for DUI while she was completely sober, and it comes as another driver wrongfully arrested is now going directly to lawmakers, demanding they address what they are calling a crisis. It is the latest development in Jeremy Finley's sobering problems investigation. Jeremy, you can hear the trauma in the voices of these innocent people.
Yeah, you can, and you can certainly understand it once you see the latest arrest video that we've obtained. One sober driver who understands this better than anybody says she will not stop until lawmakers take action.
We were visiting everything. My sister had a baby shower.
Last July, Carly Hicks arrived in this Union City park in her father's car. She had no idea this is how she would leave it.
And it's just so traumatizing.
Hicks and her boyfriend had come to the park not realizing it was already closed. They had unopened alcohol in the vehicle, but that wasn't what made police suspicious.
Is there any marijuana in the vehicle?
No, sir.
Because I can smell it, that's why I was asking.
Hicks admits she'd smoked 4 days before, but not that day or night, and agreed to a field sobriety test.
So you're gonna follow my finger with your eyes and your eyes only.
Following the test and the discovery of what looked like the remnants of marijuana in the car,
I ain't charging you with it, but I ain't gonna throw this away.
Hicks is told someone will need to come get the car.
I can drive.
Based off what we just saw, that's a no.
But I haven't done anything today.
And once on the phone with her father,
all right, you're gonna be under arrest.
Sir, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
No.
Sir, please. Please, this is my dad. Please.
Hold on.
Please.
I'll talk to him in a second. Hold on. For now, put your hands behind your back.
You're being accused of endangering innocent lives on the road. Like, I would never do anything like that to anyone.
months after Hicks was booked and remained in jail for 36 hours, her blood work came back. It showed she was completely sober at the time of her arrest. No alcohol, no drugs. The charge dismissed, but the damage already done.
My mugshot went around on display, just tarnishing my reputation as if I would put people's lives in danger on the road.
Labrisha Beatty understands it all too well.
It was a traumatic experience.
Like Hicks, she was arrested for DUI by a state trooper while she was sober. Now, she's demanding lawmakers take action. I think you have emailed every lawmaker in Tennessee.
I have.
She's not just emailing. She's going in person, meeting last month with lawmakers and staff, saying what WSMV4 Investigates first uncovered, that more than 600 sober people have been arrested for DUI in Tennessee in a 7-year period, is a crisis that the legislature must address.
How do we look into something that is so broken to bring about change? So this cannot happen again.
Wow. Okay, so Jeremy, this really comes down to those on-the-spot judgment calls by officers, right?
Yeah, that's right, Lauren. In Carly Hicks' case, the officer said he smelled marijuana, found what he thought was marijuana remnants, and said she failed the field sobriety test. But she was also completely sober. And she also hadn't committed any driving violations that got the officer's attention. He suspected and arrested her, and she was innocent. The obvious flaws in this system is what drivers want lawmakers to address, and we'll be following to make sure they do.
Here's an interesting story. This fired Marco Island officer heads to trial in Airsoft BB shooting of Lehigh Acres teen. Whoa. Let's get on with it. A former Marco Island police officer whose termination was upheld in 2022 is headed for trial in Lee County. He's accused of firing a toy gun at a child. John Derrick is his name, age 41, faces 1 count of aggravated child abuse involving malicious punishment and 1 count of child abuse. That's his story. According to court documents, February 5th, 2024, Lee County Sheriff's deputies responded to Derrick's Lehigh Acres home. According to court documents, a teen called 911 reported Derrick had beaten her before she left the home to call for help. Derrick told Sheriff's deputies the child was having behavioral issues acting out at home and at school. Ooh, all right, what's going on? Derrick told authorities he initially told the teen to give him all her sneakers and claimed she started to hit him. The former Marco Island police officer said she started to hit him, and he restrained her. Once restrained, Derrick said the teen started to kick Derrick, who grabbed her and pulled her across the floor. Okay, we're learning more. According to authorities, Derrick he stated an adult woman in the house started throwing things around the residence and that the teen punched him in the face. Okay, he's dealing with 2 people now, allegedly, apparently. When sheriff's deputies spoke with the teen, according to the report, she said she had problems lately with Derrick. She reported Derrick bumped into her when he became upset with her. The teenager said that when she went into the bedroom, he sat on the bed. Ooh, Derrick pulled her from the bed and placed his knee on her stomach, making it difficult for her to breathe. Seems like a jerk. Okay. The report says the teenager's mother entered the bedroom and tried to get Derrick off the victim. Once the teen was freed, she called law enforcement. Okay, they're having a big old family spat, you guys. According to the sheriff's deputy, Derrick did not have injuries or redness in the areas he claimed the teen struck him, while the minor had a red mark on her arm. Ooh. Shortly after the initial incident, the report says Derrick called the sheriff's office to report the teen's grandmother was trespassing. Okay. Authorities said they could not remove her from the house because a resident had invited her over. Okay, she's in the home, invited, you guys. About a month later, March 12, 2024, according to the same incident report, sheriff's deputy listened to the 911 audio from the February incident, which, according to the report, included comments from the teen's grandmother indicating she feared for the teen. Uh-oh. According to the report, the teen's grandmother made a comment about the former police officer pointing a gun in the mirror at the minor. Derek later made a comment indicating it was an airsoft gun. Uh-oh, he... All right, he made himself guilty right there. The report states that the grandmother accused Derek of shooting the teen with a BB gun, to which Derek later replied, "Everyone was shot with BB guns." Oh my goodness. Okay, he's really telling on himself, you guys. Nearly a month later, April 5th, 2024, a detective spoke with the teen's grandmother who said February 5th, 2024, when authorities responded to the child's call, she also received a phone call from the teen who was crying, asking the woman to pick her up. The grandmother said the teen told her she was afraid she would die because she could not breathe because of Derek's force. Okie dokie. During the conversation with authorities, the grandmother recalled a prior incident where Derek punished the teen for skipping school, forcing her to pull weeds without gloves. When she didn't pull the weeds fast enough, the report says Derek threatened her with a BB gun and shot her twice, leaving a puncture. According to the report, Derek walked into the home and said, "Wow, I can't believe this shot was that hard." Okay, so he knew it was painful. She must have screamed or something. Okay, Sheriff's Detective Giorgio La Spia with the Sheriff's Office Special Unit Victims received the case April 19th, 2024. The same day, he searched the home. La Spia, he retrieved several airsoft guns. Oh, this guy had an arsenal of kid guns. Okay, Derek was booked into the Lee County Jail April 19th, 2024 and released 2 days later on a $100,000 bond. Defense questions Sheriff's Detective. A week before the case is scheduled to go on trial, Derek's defense attorney, we don't really care what he says. We don't care anything about his defense attorney. But John Derrick's second arrest in 2 years. What? So it turns out Derek was arrested on January 11th, 2023 on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery. See, he's got a history, guys. January 10th, 2023, a woman claimed Derek grabbed her while she held an infant child and threw her to the ground where she hit her head. This guy is out of control, allegedly. When she got up, she said Derek pushed her against the wall and pointed a gun. Okay. John Derrick's mugshot has been withheld. We're still going to try to find it. Derek's mugshot is withheld in both 2023 and 2024 cases. In Florida, arresting law enforcement, we don't care. John Derrick's dark past with the Marco Island Police. Let's just get it over with. Mediation records indicate that on the night of March 23, 2019, way back then, Marco Island Police superiors determined Derek failed to respond to a medical call, his fifth within 2 weeks, and ordered that Derek respond to all future medical calls. Okay, look at this, you guys. The guy is a complete degenerate knucklehead, allegedly, and he's in big trouble and he's going on trial for being a loser. Okay, thank you for being here, folks. On with the show.
It was the first of its kind in the country when it opened in 2020. And today, the Albany County Sheriff is taking his homeless improvement program to the next level. It started when Sheriff Craig Apple turned an obsolete wing of the jail into a temporary home for men who needed help getting back on their feet. And today, another first, dedicated space for homeless women and their children.
We want it to be homey. We don't want it to be institutionalized.
The concrete walls were once to punish. Now they protect. Here inside a decommissioned section of the Albany County Jail, a space that's welcoming. It all started a few years ago. Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple was finding that many, if not most, of the people who were being released from prison and jail were ending up homeless. He had space in the county jail. Fewer people were being locked up for drug possession, so he turned a wing into this home for the homeless.
So we had this open wing. Everybody kind of was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this. But then everybody fell in love with the project. And
the jail gates have been turned into doors that can be opened from both sides. It opened in 2020 for men who were trying to get back on their feet. All the services they need to find a job, save money, and get their own place. Occasionally, a woman was allowed to stay here.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Women like Carla Johnson, who says her time here saved her life. And today, a major expansion. This brand new wing for women and their children 45 additional rooms, 2 suites, reconfigured space made up of 3 former cells to accommodate people who have children. It's all made possible by a $500,000 federal grant and donations from many, including Broadview and its CEO.
I thought they were a financial institution. We are.
Carla Johnson is moving into her new place in Schenectady this week, 8 months after she was on the verge of living in her car. She's thrilled that other women will now have the opportunity to get back on track here.
My heart is just swelled because it's the safety and the recognition of they're going to be helped and they're not going to understand the help that they are about to receive and how it's going to set them back on track.
We never did this before, and we're still learning every day. But you know what? When you see somebody come in and at the absolute rock bottom and leave and come back and talk to the others about their transition and their transformation, man, if that doesn't pull on your heartstrings, nothing will.
It's bipartisan too. The support. Clearly, the sheriff is passionate about this and says the program saves taxpayers money because it's much less than the cost of incarceration. Coming up at 6, one of the first women to move into the new space tells us what it means for her.
Groundbreaking. The space was there, and he came up with a new way to use it.
Why now?
You guys, thank you so much for watching the show. I really do appreciate it. We've got a lot of bad apples this week, I know, putting you through a lot, but we can make it through and things will settle down and we'll get back to our little morning show. But it turns out we have a bad apple report after dark tonight. So I hope to see you guys here later this evening. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you just in a few hours, I guess. Okay, after dark. Have a great day, folks.